We now turn abroad, and as the war rages on in Ukraine, a former New York governor is on a mission to help civilians there.
George Pataki is overseas. He's been there a number of times. He's helping deliver medical supplies in the wake of recent drone attacks from Russia. He joins us now from Ukraine. And Governor, thanks so much for taking a few moments. Good to see you.
Nice to see you, Chris. Nice being on.
This is your fifth trip since the war started. What takes you back this time?
You know, there's just enormous human need. And you see the spirit of the Ukrainian people, and we know how well they're defending their country against the attacks. But what you don't see is the civilians who are suffering behind the front lines. And we're in Kyiv right now. And last night there were drone and rocket attacks in Kyiv. Yesterday, 2 young children were killed on the streets of Kyiv trying to get to a shelter. So we're here this time to save lives. We're distributing hundreds and hundreds, and we hope thousands of individual trauma kits. And we're training individuals how they can deal with a medical disaster that happens in their neighborhood, in their building, or in their school. We're giving them tourniquets and other equipment so that they can save lives. And, you know, that's what it's all about. Just we should all be doing everything we can to try to help the Ukrainian people win this war and help the civilians who are also suffering have as much support and help as possible.
And Governor, how is this trip to Ukraine different than your previous missions? You've had a unique mission every time.
Yeah, Mary, as you said, this is our fifth trip, my fifth trip. And this one is different because we do see these rocket and drone attacks all across the country. So any civilian in any part of the country now is at risk of losing their life. And that's why we have to change our response. In the fall, we were bringing generators and heaters. Now we're bringing these trauma kits so that we can train neighbors to take care of their neighbors if one of these random drone or rocket attacks happens to hit. And we know this effort is going to save lives, and we know that more needs to be done. So that's why we'll continue to come back as much as we can. And Mary, I just have to mention, we're with Task Force Antal. These are retired special forces heroes from the United States military. And they developed these kits, they developed these training procedures, and whatever we can do to work with them to save lives, we're going to continue to do.
Governor, on a personal level, why has this cause, in the amount of times that you've been back to the region now, why has it had such an impact on you personally?
You know, Chris, like everybody, when the war broke out, I was glued to the television. And you think, what can we do to help? And, you know, there are a lot of organizations, you write a check and you don't know what happens. So literally within a week of the war, we came here to deliver aid directly firsthand. And we had hoped that'd be one trip. And after that, you'd see the billions in humanitarian aid rolling in. But each time we come, we see that there are still massive unmet needs, despite these billions in government money that should be rolling through. So, you know, I'm just not the type to sit back and, you know, say, this is not right. I hope somebody does something about it. So long as my group has the ability to do something about it and the need is there, we're going to continue to try. I'm not Ukrainian, by the way, but I think all Americans understand that this is our fight. This is not just the Ukrainian people's fight. This is good against evil, and we've got to stand with the good.
And what do Americans need to know about the war in Ukraine at this stage?
You know, Mary, it's unpredictable. We do know that Ukraine is preparing for a counterattack, hopefully this spring, and everybody's praying that it'll be successful. But I can tell you the Ukrainians are optimistic and hopeful about that, but also realistic that this could be a long war, which is why the efforts to continue to support not just the military, but the Ukrainian people is absolutely essential.
And Governor, before we let you go, how can people hear help?
You know, our center is GeorgePatakiCenter.com. We have no paid staff. We're all volunteers. And every nickel we raise goes directly to help the people of Ukraine. We take it here ourselves to make sure it goes to the right place. So if people want to donate, GeorgePatakiCenter.com, apart from travel and security, all of it will go directly to help the people of Ukraine.
Governor George Pataki, thank you so much. Stay safe out there. We appreciate you joining us from Ukraine.
Thank you so much.
And if you'd like to donate to Pataki's humanitarian relief effort, we've put a link on our website at cbsnewyork.com.